So, I may or may not be doing this because Bryson and Ijon did, but that's not the point of the matter here, alright? Ijon and Bryson made videos about video games, and it made me think about video games, and I'm here to discuss my opinion with you because I want to. Also, I have a script over here of everything I wanted to discuss, so if I'm looking over, it's because I'm reading my script. Now, I want to say first and foremost that I enjoy video games as a whole. They're fun. Now, is it because I'm not playing the shitty games? Maybe. And that brings me to my first point. You, the consumer, are probably ruining video games for yourself. Tarnishing your brain with all these trash games can cloud your mind to think all games suck. Sure, most of these AAA companies make these unfinished games that suck, or maybe they're finished games that just suck, and it pisses you off so much, but why do you continue to buy them? People continue to pre-order games that at this point we know will turn out not so great, and yet people complain every time. Just stop wasting your money and time. We can easily shut this down if people simply stop pre-ordering. But it ain't as easy as it sounds, because people will still buy these shit pre-orders anyway. But I know me, I've been playing games like 2K, Rainbow Six Siege, Bloons Tower Defense, Papa's Freezeria, etc. Now, some of those games people have mixed feelings for, and others love these games. And you probably know which games people have mixed feelings for and which games people love. I'm gonna go one by one. NBA 2K is a sports game made by the company 2K, who's a very controversial company in the sports gaming world. They don't make the best games necessarily, but I personally have really been enjoying 2K23. The story is cool, I guess. I don't really care for it, but what makes it special to me, and what all 2Ks have, is the fact that I can literally be the greatest basketball player of all time. I'm very unathletic. Super unathletic, in fact. When I do play, all I can do is be a rip-off Klay Thompson and sit in the corner and shoot when the time is right. But I can enjoy myself when I play 2K by making myself whoever and whatever I want to be and drop 30 plus points a night on some of the greatest players to play the game. Me as a person who loves basketball, whether it's playing, watching, or anything to do with it, it's the only sport I keep up with. So when I get to play basketball and be good at it in an alternate universe, that tickles my balls a little. Someone who doesn't like basketball as much as me may not like 2K, and that's completely understandable. But let's remember, this is my opinion. The city was the best thing I think they've done since they copy-pasted 2K19's neighborhood into 2K20. But the side quests are cool and useless. But who doesn't want to make a song with J. Cole? I definitely would want to. And all the things you can do in the city is kind of cool. Even something subtle like being able to walk into the stadium is such a cool thing they added. And fighting against the media to prove you're a better player than some other guy is a cool storyline, and it makes you feel good when you finally prove everyone wrong. Rainbow Six Siege is a 5v5 search and destroy game where one team defends a bomb and the other tries to defuse it. I love this game too. But first, I gotta give a shout out to Jinxie. This man single-handedly brought this game back to life and made even me play the game again. Last time I played was back in year 5, season 2, so it's been like 2-3 years, and he single-handedly made me get back on the game. And I've been having a blast. Sure, sometimes I go 0-5, and other games I go 10-5, but the point is I enjoy myself whether I go perform good or I perform horribly. And that's something, to me, that makes a good game. When you perform bad on a game, you usually, there's a chance, not everybody, but you might start getting mad at yourself, right? And when you're mad, you'll start to blame things. But you won't blame yourself. No. You blame the game or other people. Lots of people do it, and I've fallen victim to it too. But not on Siege. If you perform bad on Siege, there's a reason for it. And the only person you can blame is yourself. But we obviously don't blame ourselves. But the graphics are incredible, the gun mechanics are amazing, the operators are awesome and very unique, for the most part. The maps are amazing, and even though there is bad maps, they still look really cool, and they're designed really, really well. But they barely miss with that, and they barely miss with their operators they release every season, but some have been iffy. Thank God he got buffed. Sure, some of their decisions aren't that great, but I can get past that. It's nothing to make me quit playing the game for. Nothing is perfect. I will still play the game until I overplay myself and get tired of it again. That doesn't mean I hate the game, though. Bloons TD6. I think everyone can love this game, right? What's not to love? It's a simple fucking tower defense game where monkeys shoot balloons with potions, darts, cannons, ice. Fuck, they even got dinosaurs. Tower defense games are the easiest chill out and vibe games, especially Bloons TD Battles 1 or 2, where you get 3 towers and you just go until someone loses 150 of their lives. I've been liking Battles 2 a lot since they have heroes now, and especially since TD6 can get boring when you maxed out every monkey in the game. It gets a little repetitive. But I have over 130 hours on the game, roughly, so the game takes a while, so you can get a lot of playtime out of it before you get bored of it. Papa's Freezeria is another chill, relax, vibe out game. You literally make milkshakes for people. That's it. It's kind of like a tycoon or a simulator game, and you just go endless days making milkshakes for people, whether they need them or not. But the point is that they hit the nail with this one. Not only Freezeria, but damn near every Papa Louie game is fire as shit. I love Wingeria the most, that's my favorite, but I don't have much to say about this game, really. I think everyone watching this video knows that these Papa Louie games are fire as fuck. You're probably wondering why I just described 4 different games to you, and the point is to show you is that there's still fun in these games, whether they're good or not. You're just not finding it. I can find joy in bad games, and I can find joy in good games. There's so many more games out there that are fire, and I bet there's a game that you and me both don't even know about that's fire as fuck. But if you're not enjoying a game like Call of Duty or any of these other AAA games, don't buy the next game. What's the point of getting the next COD every time for $70 if you feel this way about it? I know me personally, I'm never wasting $70 on a COD when I could spend that money on Rainbow Six Siege, which is a game you'll need to buy once, and is like $30 cheaper. If you want to talk buying games every year, I'd much rather buy 2K every year than COD. But that's just me. But I want to circle back to the point where when I said that you, the consumer, are ruining games for yourself, because I think I'm a prime example of that. If I can enjoy games like 2K and Rainbow Six Siege, there's games that you can enjoy too. You know what? That might not always be true, because sometimes people just grow off of things. And it happens, that's totally fine. So you can't always blame the game for your reason of growing off of video games. You have a life too. Getting busy with a job and having real life responsibilities, and that's the kid in you slowly exiting your body. I know me personally, my lazy ass hasn't gotten a job, so I have lots of time to game, and maybe that's why I enjoy them, but I'm not going to be gaming all day till I'm 40. I'm eventually going to slow down and stop too. It happens with everything we do. My dad used to game all the time when I was younger. We would play Gears of War 2 and 3 together all the time and just run Horde for hours. That's why those are 2 of my favorite games of all time. Now, he doesn't even game because he has no time for it. And even if he did, he probably wouldn't play them for that long because he probably just doesn't enjoy them anymore. It's also probably because they just don't hit the same for him. And that's another point, nostalgia. You miss the older times when games hit. Sure, games were better back then compared to now, but that's not to say that video games are significantly worse. Obviously, some come in these incomplete forms and others just plain suck, but there are still heater companies out there such as Nintendo, Rockstar, and shit, lots of other companies. Nintendo and Rockstar barely miss, but we'll talk about Pokemon later. Same with those Sony exclusives. They barely miss either with their exclusives. So not all AAA companies are to blame. You probably just wish for video games to feel how they used to when you were younger, but you know you can't have that back, and that's probably another reason why you're not enjoying them. My point here is that video games are still good. You're just not reaching in that bag deep enough and giving some of these games a chance. Because we're in 2023, and we still have amazing games released such as Tears of the Kingdom and Jedi Survivor. But instead you continue to play these games you don't like, and you're ruining it for yourself because you don't branch out enough when it comes to video games. And some people do branch out and play a lot of games. And if at that point you still don't enjoy them, that seems to be a you problem. But I think something I have been avoiding is the fact that video games have been releasing not fully complete, and that is a problem. It's either these developers are lazy and just don't care, or these publishers set awful release dates so then developers have to crunch everything together to release it in time when everything would be fine if they just gave themselves more time. Cyberpunk is a perfect example of this. Came out buggy as hell. But if you play it today, it's such a good game. People have questioned it ever since its first release, but now that they've updated it, they won't even give it a chance. But I'm not going to let Cyberpunk slide here because the game is good now. You shouldn't release an unfinished game. What Cyberpunk did was sorta good because at least they fixed the game, but it's like ordering a burger with just the bun. And then a few months or maybe years later, they give you the lettuce and cheese and the meat and, whatever you like on your burger. And if you had received just a bun for a burger, you'd probably be upset. But then months later, when you're given the rest, you're not even going to do nothing with the rest of that burger because you probably already ate the bun or maybe even threw it away. But when it comes to video games, that's just a normal thing, and it really shouldn't be. And like I said, we can make this a not normal thing if consumers simply stop pre-ordering games. We as consumers, well, not me, are so gullible that these companies prey on us to keep doing what we're doing so we can just give them more money. The new Pokemon games, for example, were so broken and buggy that I'm surprised people even played them and continued to buy them. But Scarlet and Violet is their best-selling Pokemon game of all time. And I know people that played those games and enjoyed them. So it's not the fact that these games are broken, because if you enjoy these Pokemon games, you can probably enjoy any broken and or shitty game that exists. My point is that you're not reaching deep enough into the video gaming bag, and I think that's step 1 to enjoying video games again. Step 2 is to stop buying the games you don't enjoy. I know you'll find other games out there. You just have to search hard enough.
New coupe on the ice when I lay back, and I'm driving around the city in my Maybach. Got a full rotation, smoking big pack. Man, I can't wait to get my first gold plaque. New coupe on the ice when I lay back.